My name is David F. Carr. I'm a former Toastmasters president, former area governor, current Chief 47, which is South Florida and the Bahamas. And professionally, I'm a writer, editor, and web consultant projects. If you like something you see today, maybe you'll be able to refer me from some work. That would be a good outcome of doing this. But I'm here today to talk about the WordPress for Toastmasters project, which is a way of layering Toastmasters-specific features on top of a standard publishing platform, a standard online publishing platform, a social media marketing platform that's used by a lot of organizations around the world. This has been a labor of love for me for the past several years. Originally, it was just a one-off hack for my own club website. I wasn't satisfied with the tools that I had available to me with FreeToast, particularly if I wanted to do something beyond the ordinary, like promoting an open house. I just wanted to be able to create a special page that I could cross-promote on social media, drive people to that page, get people to see all the information and get them into the door to our club. And I found that to be an awkward thing to do on the FreeToast platform. And maybe it's just because I was familiar with WordPress from other projects too. I saw a lot of potential for taking the things that were good about FreeToast and sort of porting them over into the WordPress environment. And then over the years, I've tried to come up with my own ways of improving on things, making things more flexible. And I am looking for help from other people who are techies, but also Toastmasters, or designers, but also Toastmasters, who may be able to contribute to this project in some way. Make the screens look better, make things function better. That would be wonderful. But at the same time, I've also been working very hard at making this something that's accessible for non-techies to use. So I want you to be as excited as I am about the potential of marketing your club more actively online and on social media, bringing people in the door of your club. I mean, that's what it's all about. So trying to convert people into members, viewers into members. So one more thing to show over on the slides, which is our agenda. So why WordPress? What's so special about WordPress? What does it offer beyond to being able to manage your Toastmasters site? And what have we added on top? How do we help you organize meetings? How do we help you get people to your meetings? Track member accomplishments, stick to the Toastmasters International branding requirements. I've kind of been through the mill there a little bit, and I'll talk about that. And how this ties into a broader online social media marketing and recruiting campaign strategy. And then specifically, how to set up and manage one of these sites. There are a couple of ways to do it for free. And I'll explain a little bit more about what free means in this context too, because there's more than one kind of free. There's a free software advocate named Richard Stallman who likes to say that his efforts have been about free speech, not necessarily free beer. So there are multiple kinds of free. I'll be specific about what you can get for free. And one more time, we're going to change a different screen. Okay. Hey, somebody said they're excited or that it's cool. This is good. Let me, let's see. I'm getting lost in my own system here. All right. This is the way I always like to start. search for awesome Toastmasters. It turns out that my own home club ranks #1 on Google in terms of awesomeness. Maybe more importantly, not too many people are going to be searching for awesome Toastmasters, but if I search for Toastmasters and the name of the city in South Florida where I live, this worked yesterday. Yes, we also come up first. We narrowly edge out another club where they get the name of the city in the name of their website. But I had to work on that, on elevating that that search engine ranking. And one of the advantages of WordPress is because there are a lot of WordPress sites out there, Google knows how to index them really well. It's sort of a predictable pattern that they know how to follow for how a WordPress site is. And if we click through the site, we'll see that there's a lot going on there. I mean, hopefully you start to get a sense that there's maybe more going on than a typical Masters Club. Particularly, we have a lot of video. I'm a big believer in video because we're a public speaking organization. If we can show people speaking, either speech videos, this one is actually a testimonial. A member was inspired after one of our meetings. She went out to her car and she did this selfie video talking about what Toastmasters had done for her life. So that's a wonderful thing to be able to include. Because we use this as part of a broader social media marketing approach, we also want to be able to make it easy as possible to take this post and share it out on Facebook. So I can do that right now. My capitalization right because I'm trying to keep the demo moving. Come on, Facebook, post it. There we go. But things also work the other way around. This also is an Amy Greenfield story because she has appointed herself as our club photographer. And after every meeting, she'll post pictures of people having fun, speaking, engaging in the Toastmasters experience. And whenever I see she has posted one of these things, because she doesn't usually do this, I go through and say, join us any Friday. And I put in the club web address. And we see this nice little preview here saying you can be an awesome Toastmaster too. So that's kind of our message to the world. And this is important because social media is great for engaging. It's great for me reaching people who I wouldn't reach normally, who aren't necessarily friends of mine or online friends of mine, but they're friends of Amy's. So it's a way of extending your reach. But then once we've got their attention, we want to bring them over to our website because our website has all the specifics of where and when we meet and how to get involved and just more things to get people engaged and hopefully to get them in the door. So that is the whole point. And going back to WordPress, why is WordPress something worth investing in? Well, if you look at any of these professional publications or corporate websites, these are actually all WordPress sites. Now, there are WordPress sites that have gotten a lot of professional attention, but one of the things that WordPress benefits from is a widely used, and it's also what's called open source software, which means anybody can modify it and also contribute back to it. So when these users and corporations who use WordPress find something that's missing, they have an opportunity to add it, to contribute it back to the community. And that's how WordPress keeps getting better. And that's a hard thing for a closed proprietary platform to compete with. And of course, this is the WordPress for Toastmasters site. Some of you probably came through here to register for this event. A related project is called RSVP Maker. So This is a general purpose scheduling system that I created a number of years ago, originally for a political campaign where they needed to get people into, wanted people to RSVPs. And actually the system that you use to register for this online webinar was RSVP Maker. So I'm also promoting an event on Friday where I'll be showing people how they can use RSVP Maker to promote webinars, and to do it on a budget. If they use Air, Google Hangouts on Air is free. And RSVP Maker is a free plugin to WordPress. So you begin to see that there's a lot of value here, a lot of things that you can get for free or by sort of magnifying other people's effort. So let's see, where was I? I guess another question to answer is one of the basic marketing questions is, why should I care? And showing this for the past year or so but I should a club. A lot of people .org, they do a Google search, they do find their way, and picture page, and it seems to get people in the door. And true, but if you're starting a new club, or if you have a club that maybe needs a kick, or maybe you're just and you want to set a big reputation for your organization, maybe help some of the people, promote some of the people in your organization too. Their speech videos on their website, you may be helping them make an additional connection. So I think here, I'm excited. But also, I make the argument that the club probably in many cases is the first impression that your club makes on a potential member. So it better be a good impression. The first impression you make when somebody comes in, that's arguably even more important. So obviously you want to show them a great Toastmasters member experience when you get them in the door. But first you have to get them in the door. And I'm convinced that a lot of people really have no idea what Toastmasters is, or they think it sounds like kind of a stuffy organization where people stand around giving PowerPoint, which might not be want to be involved in. So this is a way, by showing some personality on your site. Now, as a follow-up, I'll show you a blog post about show some personality on your site, what my philosophy is on that, and also the mechanics of using video on a site. But I'm gonna show you some about that in just a moment. So now, part of what I've added here is a system for being able to sign up for roles at meetings. So I can select any of these meetings. Actually, it recognized me right away. Normally it would prompt me for my password, but I think because I had logged in earlier in the day, it just brought me right in. So now I'm logged into the website, and now I can interact with it. I can sign up to be the videographer at this meeting, which is one of the custom roles that we have. I can remove myself from the agenda just as easily. Maybe I'll go a few weeks into the future and sign up to speak. Let's see. And when I sign up to speak, I can also choose my project. And a title. And then if we view the agenda for this, we'll see that that information is filled in. I do have a challenge sometimes with getting people to go in and fill in all the information. Sometimes we don't have the speech project on the agenda. Oh well. Also, because not everybody is necessarily going to sign up online, we do have a way of generating a sign-up sheet out of the same system. The 22nd happens to be reserved for a special presentation, so the list is a little bit different there. But this is something that the VP of Education or the Toastmaster of the day might print and bring to the meeting, try and get additional people to sign up. Also, times when we're going through the week, we're getting close to the day of our event, and we realize we have some open roles, so we get on the phone and we fill roles. So as a club leader, I can go in and also edit these. So I can add somebody else as Toastmaster of the day. All right. So we can edit that as we need to. There's also a mechanism for recommending somebody for a role. Let's see. Come on, Internet. Come on, Internet. You can do it. Okay. I can add note to Bruce so he'll knows why I'm nominating him for this. And save changes. And he will get a message. I haven't added him to the agenda. I've just sent him this strong suggestion that it would be a good idea if he signed up for that role. He can click, and actually in that case, he doesn't even need to log into the site. He can just click to accept, and he would be added to the agenda. One thing I don't think I pointed out here as well, I'm going to go back to that one more time. La 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 la. The other thing it shows me is when they last filled that role. So I can say to this person also, I see you haven't been Toastmaster of the Day since September. It's about time we get you back up on that in front of that crowd. Now, because I am authorized as an editor of this site, I can also edit any of these pages or blog posts. And what I want you to see here really is just that this is not so scary. This is basically a WordPress, a web-based word processor. So it has a couple of extra buttons in here. Let me make this larger. So I can highlight a couple of words and click on this chain link icon, and that's how I would add a link. I would just type in the web address here to make that a hot link on the site. If I want to add a photo, I can add any photo that's already in our gallery, or I can upload a file and insert it here. And one quick thing to show about video is, oops, wait a minute. I have to stop sharing for a second. Oh, let's see, hold on a moment. So here I have a video of a couple of our longtime members. The jargon in our club is they're referred to as croutons. So croutons are the crusty old pieces that make the salad more interesting. If I want to use that video in a blog post, copy the web address and go back to my blog posting screen. Okay. The cool thing here is if I paste in that web address, it automatically inserts the player. So if you're not impressed by that, it's because you haven't tried to do it the old way where you had to do a bit more coding. And I can publish that, and within a second or two, it should be available on our site. There we go, new video on the site. So this is from a series of testimonials that I'm gathering, and the idea is that we'll edit them together and take the best bits and have a video of maybe 2 to 3 minutes that we would include on the home page to give people kind of a quick feel of the personality of the club and what makes it special. Let's see. Let me go back and look at whether there are questions. I'm sorry, there is a slight delay when I'm trying to move from screen to screen. Okay. Somebody asked me to zoom in more. I'll try and do that on the future screen. So that's Brad Smith. Sorry about that, Brad. I'll try and do better. Who provides the staging environment when the site is being developed? I have set up a service that is available for free in sort of the same way that Free Toast is free, called Toastmasters. And so you can have a subdomain site on Free Toast host, excuse me, toastmost.org. So it would be myclub.toastmost.org. I'll show you how to set up one of those in a few minutes. Also from Brad Smith, can users install their own plugins from the WordPress repository or Jetpack auto updates enabled? So I have something that I'm managing as a service, which is going to be limited in the number of plugins that are available because I can't support everything. However, all the software that you need to implement a site like this is available in the WordPress repository. So you can set up your own site for free. Excuse me. The hosting's not free. That means that your club is going to spend maybe $100 a year to have its own domain name and to have club hosting that you purchase from, to have WordPress website hosting that you purchase from wherever. There is a special deal I worked out with a company called A2 Hosting, where they will have the WordPress for Toastmasters software free pre-installed. And they are giving me a referral fee, which will help pay my expenses and allow me to hopefully keep doing this. So far, I mean, I keep waiting for this to become a worldwide sensation among Toastmasters and for people to spread the word and lots of folks to sign up. But so far, I still have a lot of people just kind of kicking the tires and experimenting with it. So I've been able to support this on my own as an experiment so far. and hasn't become terribly expensive. The referral fee deal with that web host is one way I may be able to help make sure I pay the bills. Let's see. How many clubs on your platform? I mean, actually, really just a handful so far. Club Awesome is another club in town. A few others in District 47, South Florida. Actually, I think the second club to go live was actually in Australia, though. So there are a scattering of clubs around the world that have started to pick up on this, but it's still pretty new. This means you get to be a pioneer. So if you want to be a pioneer, that would be cool. What's Brad Smith also talking about implementing nifty tech on his website? What's the handoff process from one club VPPR to the next on your platform? For you to work out, I guess. You know, I guess I would argue that one advantage of the WordPress-based solution is that it's not unique to Toastmasters. So if you find somebody in your club who has some experience with digital marketing, it's fairly likely that you might be able to find somebody who has WordPress experience, particularly on the district level. Also, there are tons of tutorials out there. Some of those tutorials are specifically for techies. So sometimes I think they're maybe a little bit intimidating to people who just want to be able to post to the blog, figure out how to upload images. I often direct people to the help section on WordPress.com. And one of the things I meant to mention along the way is that there is a distinction between the WordPress.com service, which is run by the company that created a lot of the WordPress software. So it uses the same underlying software as any WordPress site, but it also uses their own customizations. They offer free sites, offered more in the mode of being a social media platform for bloggers. So they also have to limit the number of plugins they support, the number of themes they support. And there are a number of clubs that have decided, for some of the reasons I've talked about, that WordPress is a better marketing platform. So they've set up a WordPress.com site. Unfortunately, they won't be able to add my software into that environment. There is a way of taking exporting content that you have put into a WordPress.com site and importing it into your own site. And let's see, I don't want to let Brad ask all the questions, but he's asking good ones. Is this more like WP.com or WordPress.com or WordPress.org self-hosted? What I'm trying to explain is the service that I'm offering is more like WordPress.com. It's going to be limited to what's practical for me to support. However, you do have the opportunity of going out and grabbing the plugins. There's basically 2 or 3 plugins and a theme called Lectern, which I went through the process of getting reviewed with the Toastmasters International Brand Police. And I also had to get it approved by WordPress.org. It's meeting their standards. That took several months of work, but it is freely available now. So in addition to clubs, districts can use that. It provides the Toastmasters standard banners at the top and the required disclaimers, which are very important at the bottom, saying that that this is a trademark of Toastmasters International. We're part of this larger organization. A link over to toastmastersinternational.org. So yes. Let's see. Sherry Thomas asks, this is different than the free Toast host, which most clubs are using now. we would have to move to another site. Yeah, I mean, it is a choice. What I did when I moved is uh, there is still a Club Awesome site up on Free Toast Host, but all it is a message on the homepage basically saying we've moved with a link to the new site. And I made sure that the new site was listed in the Toastmasters.org directory. We got our own. Actually, I think the club had already previously gotten clubawesome.org as a domain name. Free Toast Host does allow you to, as a customization, to have your own domain name associated with one of the sites that they host. I don't support that. Technically, it would be too much of a headache. So so that's that. Yeah, it's a choice you have to make. You know, a lot of clubs are using kind of a mix of things. I talk to people who say, yeah, we use Free Toast Host. That's our basic, shingle out on the internet, letting people know where and when to find us. And then we use Google Docs spreadsheet. That's actually how we sign up for roles. So people who don't like how that works by default on Free Toast Host have done that, or they might do a combination of that and there's another service called Easy Speak that I've tried to take some ideas from. But let's say I'm trying to scan down the list of questions. Just a moment. Is the authority to change roles limited or limitable? Asks Matthew. Hi, Matthew. Currently, I allow any club member to do that. Why? Just because I haven't bothered to limit it. It is definitely something that we could make limited. I've never had a problem with somebody editing that in a way that was inappropriate. So I trust my club members to do that. And generally, people haven't figured out what that button does unless they're in that role. So usually, it's the members who've been in the club for a while. Either they're an officer or they're serving as Toastmaster of the day, and so they come through and may edit the roles. So let's see. I had a few more things I want to show you, including how to set up one of these sites. Sign up, register a new site now. Okay. Again, this should be what you would see if you were coming in fresh. Actually, Maker Toastmasters is not a bad name for a club. I don't know. Anyway, I am going to try. This actually didn't work last time. There must be a way of importing content from an existing site. We want to make sure that we're on the right time zone. And I'm going to submit this. So it comes back with a screen of instructions, and you'll get a copy of this by email also, if all goes well. It wouldn't hurt to copy and paste this into a word processor or something if you don't see the email come through right away, just in case something went wrong in the interwebs. So we're going to open this in a new tab. going to grab this long gobbledygook password. I mean, you can change your password once you log in for the first time, but first you need to get started. Let's see. Okay. So now I have a brand new site. It asks me to set up my meeting schedule. I'm going to go through the same scenario as before, which some of you heard me talking about, even though you couldn't see it, where we have a club that meets every Monday, 7 p.m. And we have a series of placeholders down here for the different roles. If we want to change one of these things, we can change it from 3 speakers to 2 speakers. And 3 evaluators to 2 evaluators. We can add an additional role. So there's a couple of custom buttons up here: Agenda Note and Toastmasters role. New role. Show up at the end. And I could drag it up to the top. This is set up this way because, at least in our club, after we introduce the Toastmaster of the day, he usually introduces all the other people. If I want to add an agenda note, what this is something like stage directions, like now I can have these things show up on either just the agenda, just the web, or both. Typically, the stage directions are for the meeting. And I will drag this up here. Let's see. We want it to go. That should go. Take me a little work to get it there. After the humorist and before the speakers. Okay. Let's see. He asked me to make this stuff larger too, so let me do that. So, and then this is the area where I can add a sidebar note for the agenda, like or we could have something about the upcoming district conference in that spot. So we'll save changes. It's going to allow us to add a bunch of events as a batch, and I can uncheck ones that I can see are inappropriate because they fall on holidays. I add them all at once, and I can now go out and view any of these things, and I will see all those buttons allowing me to sign up for roles and so forth. Okay. And let's see, what else? Okay, I'm going to go back and look for questions. All right. Okay. Well, I'm still seeing some complaints about not seeing the right video. It's hard for me to tell whether they came in before or whether things were working now. I'll have to look at the replay. Let's see. Matthew said, while here I set up a template in 6 months of meetings. Can I see the full agenda with notes? Trying to find that as members will see final agenda. Matthew, I'm not sure you're talking about. Maybe you can message me offline through Facebook or whatever. Rich Haslam asks, what would our URL look like? If you sign up on the free service, you would get something like myclub.toastmasters.org. If you decide to invest in having your own website, it could be whatever web domain you want to decide to get. I can't give everybody a complete independent free website for free and set them all up custom. What I'm taking advantage of is a capability called WordPress multi-site, which is where you can have these sub-sites within the main that all run off the same software configuration. But it still allows everybody to have their own independent experience, have their own independent blog. So it's essentially the same technology that powers WordPress.com, obviously on a smaller scale. One possibility I want to mention for anybody who may be a district webmaster is you could also take the same software, set up a WordPress multi-site configuration for your district, and then offer clubs the opportunity to be myclub.toastmastersdistrict47.org, myclub.d47.org. Whatever your domain is, you could offer that as a service to your member clubs. And there are some interesting possibilities there where the events calendars potentially could kind of roll up from the member clubs to the district. I haven't talked my own district into doing it, but if somebody's feeling adventurous, it is something that's possible. So other people could take the same software and create their own variations on this service. Let's say. Matthew's asking, can I reduce the spacing of roles on the template event so there's a chance to fit on one page? That's something that you just have to play with. Maybe we could connect if you have other ideas about how to format it. There actually is another template format that's supported. I think it's called the plain template as opposed to the sidebar template. And that might give you the ability to fit more on one page. A number of people asked for something to have a sidebar where they could list some additional information. So it's all, there are all some trade-offs. Let's see, I wanted to keep this to an hour. So I am going to stop sharing for a moment. I'm going to go back to my slides. Wrap it in my slides. There they are. Just long enough to bring up a slide with all my contact information, where to find out more. There's tons of information on wpfortoastmasters.com. I've been promoting this for a year and a bit. It would be nice, actually, if other people get enthusiastic about this, if you could tweet about it, if you could post on Facebook, help create some momentum for this. Sign up for the email list. I'll try it fairly frequently. Sign. So there's no commitment implied. It's not going to show up in Google search results until you click the checkbox that says make this public. All right, so you can play around for as long as you want. You can come back to me like Matthew has with suggestions of things that he would want to see as the club webmaster. to me with more suggestions. I encourage you to connect with me on social media. My LinkedIn profile address will be in the follow-up message you get, along with pointers to some additional blog posts with my ideas. We have the webinar on webinars coming up on Friday. If you're interested in how to host a Hangouts on Air session like I'm doing right now, and use the RSVP Maker software to schedule it. I need to learn a little bit more about how to toggle back and forth between the different screens without losing track myself. So I'm sorry I left a bunch of you staring at the same unchanging screen. The issue is I couldn't see the questions popping up while I was working with the other screen. There may be a way around that, but I haven't figured it out yet. Let's see. I think there is other stuff that was supposed to be eloquent that I would say here at the end. Most of it is just that I hope you enjoyed this webinar. Even more than that, I hope that you take these ideas and do something incredible with them, that you feed back into this project with your ideas and your energy, and that we make this into something big. Again, these are all the different ways you can stay in touch with me. I will pester you with a follow-up message. I'll try not to inundate you with email, but I think there's some interesting possibilities here, and I hope you join me in exploring them. Thanks for signing in, and I'll see you around Toastmasters. Do great things.